Hey guys, in this video we'll be designing Instagram's backend in Django, and we won't be doing all the entire features, but we'll be doing most of the features, like some of the basic building blocks of Instagram. So yeah, I think the flow I will be doing in this video is we'll be discussing the design, and we'll be discussing how the structure is going to look like, and then we'll be discussing the database schemas, and then we'll dive into coding. So yeah, those are the parts that I have decided to go with. Yeah, I think we can get started. So what I'm thinking is we can have one Django server running, and we can have we can have the default DB. You can change it if you want, but I'm going to keep it by default. I think it's SQLite by default. I'm going to keep it that as it is, like, and I mean it's basic interaction between server and database, and then we're going to have a number of clients, and they'll be interacting with server. So this is the usual part, the server and the client system. So that's what the basic system is. And then coming to the design part, so I have I'm going to like only go with the basic features of Instagram. So the core features of this is going to be post and the user, because every other feature is going to be depending on these two models. So post is a Instagram post, you have the images and you have the text and all, description and all, and user is the authenticated user. You know how it works. And post comment is the comment of on the post, so there can be multiple comments. And user follow is something we know, like the user follows some other user, or some other or the user follows this user, something like that. And we also have it model for model for likes. So in order to track who liked which post and whose post, we have this. So I have created a folder called Insta. And first, before even creating a Django project, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Python environment, because I want it to be like confined to this environment. How do I do that? Insta. Yeah, so I can do source insta /bin/activate to activate that. So now you can see there is this environment active. So whatever I can do now, I can install it here. So we have this folder. This is the environment folder. So I will do pip3 or pip install Django, and along with Django we'll also be installing REST framework. So we will be using REST framework for most of the APIs. So yeah, let's go with REST framework. So we have installed Django and REST framework. So now I want to create a project. So I can say Django admin start project, I guess. And the project is going to be Instagram. And I can go into Instagram, and I can see I have manage.py and this the project. So I can say Python manage.py start app. So the app I want to start is, let's say, app itself. The name of the app is app. So now we have this folder app in which we have our application files. Yeah, I think so the first thing is we have to go to settings and add this app here. So we need two apps here. So one is the app which we created, and another is the REST frameworks app. REST framework, because if you see the documentation, we will be seeing this. So what I want to do is, so we don't have a urls.py folder or file in our app. So this is our app and this is the project. So we have this urls.py in Instagram, which is a project, but we don't have that in app. So let's create that. The reason being, the application needs the URLs file, right, to route whatever API we need. So I'm going to say app/urls.py, and I'm going to open the projects urls.py, and I'm just going to copy paste this. And I'm going to add a new path here, which is an empty path, and I'm going to include app.urls, and for include we need to import that. So what this does is, whenever we hit an empty path, which is a slash basically, so that redirects us to app.urls, which is this file. So right now we don't have anything here. We'll be adding that because we don't have any views. So we can go into views. So the structure that I want to follow is we want to have a views folder, and that views will contain each schema's views. So for user there's a separate view file, and then for post there's a separate view file. So that's what I want to do. Let me go into Insta. Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to make directory inside app slash yeah, we can do views, and I can say views slash app slash views slash I need two files. Let's say we need, let's say we'll first finish the user.py. So now if I refresh this, we have a views folder. Inside that we have a user.py. So user.py. So if you want to import this, we can do from app.views.user, or you can say import user, right? So let's discuss about the DB schema. So there are few tables as we were discussing. So one is the user table, the second is the post table, third is the post comment table for comments, and fourth is a post like table. So yeah, I think that's most of it. And we have user follow. We have user follow, or we can just say follow table. Inside user table we have the user ID, which is the primary key, and we have the email, and we have the username, we have the password, we have the first name, last name, and when the profile or the user is created, and when he or she was updated. So mostly that. We can also have a bio, which is an optional field. So to create that, we need to open app/models.py. We can create our models here. So I want to say user. This is the model. So usually we'll do models.model in a Django when we're creating a Django model. But what I want to do is I want to import, because the reason we are doing this is we already have a user model from Django by inbuilt, right? So we want to customize it according to our preference. So to do that, we need to inherit some class which Django already has. We can import abstract user. You can see it is a base class implementing fully featured user. So username and password are required, and other fields are optional. So we are going to inherit this. So we need, because we are inheriting from a base class, we need to add some by default variables like eStaff, which is a boolean field, and is active to denote if the user is active, boolean field, and is super user to see if the user is a super user or not. Super user is basically an admin access. So we can add defaults to this. By default, the user will not be a staff user, and by default the user will be active. We'll set that to empty, and for every user we need a manager. So manager, in the sense he will the manager is a class which handles whatever data this model is dealing with. It manages the data, basically. That's the manager. So we can create a new file. Let's say app/manager.py. So let's call this user manager, and we'll import that from app. manager import user manager, and we can say objects is equals to user manager. In manager we are going to add two methods to this. One is the create user method. So create user takes username, password, and other quarks, and we'll also create super user. So instead of username, we are going to put email as a primary key. So let's say email is models dot email field, and for username, actually let's put username is none. The reason being username by default is the primary key. Let's put unique true, and username models dot char field, unique will be true again. Username field will be email, and we also have to change this in settings.py. We will say auth user model will be app.user. This denotes that the default user is what we have in the models.py and not the one Django has. We have two methods here in user manager. So user manager also actually inherits a class Django.contrib .auth base user. We can import base user manager. So yeah, so first let's create a super user. So this method is called whenever we run the command python manage.py create super user. We will handle that here. And, first what we're going to do is we are going to set default for whatever values we want. So we have is active, set that to true, copy that, and is staff, it is false, and is super user is true. So what are we going to do with this is that for the user, usually for this these fields we are setting the default, and then we'll call this function which is a create user, which creates the user and stores them in the backend or in the database. So we are getting the staff user, and if it is not true then we are raising an error, and if super user is not true then we are raising the error, right? And after that we are creating this create super user, and we'll send quarks here. So here we have this email. So there are some processes before even storing the user. If you know the password is hashed and stored in DB, right? And the email is normalized. So self dot normalize email. So this normalizes email address by lowercasing the domain part of it. So it's basically like sanity check for emails. The user is equals to self.model.create user email and password and quarks. You can send email as email quarks, and we'll see user.set password of password and user.save, which saves that to the DP, and we'll return the user maybe. And there is a comma here. This is what we want to do. So yeah, so this is the basic user model. So we have the username, email and all. Actually this is a class, right? Yeah, so the first thing we want to do is I'll just open this app and I will run this command, make migrations. So it says we have created a user model and we'll do migrate, and it migrates the model. So whenever we are creating a new model, we have to do this. So you can see we haven't written other fields like first name, last name, created it and updated it. I think we need bio, but yeah. So these are all like provided in the by default class in the abstract user. So we don't need to define that. So I can also add bio here. Car field max length, we can put it as 164. And we need to again migrate. Okay. We can, this is nullable is true. So null is true. So we can just migrate. We have done that, and yeah, we can test this. So we can create the APIs now, right? So to do that, we'll go into the user.py. I'll just close this. So yeah, I'll just close this and this. So in user.py, we'll have all the user methods of use. So the methods we are going to need, or the APIs for user model we're going to need is register, login, get user by ID, right? So this will basically get the profile of user. And what else is there? So we need a API to follow an user, follow or unfollow basically. Yeah, so we'll need to do that. So we are going to use the REST frameworks. We're going to use the REST frameworks class-based views. So we have generic views. So basically, generic views, what it does is it provides everything we need. Like we just need to inherit this, and then we'll get what we need. So I'll just explain what it is, and I'll paste it here. So we're going to have a class. So first is going to be create user, and this is going to inherit create API view. So before that, we need to create something called a serializer. So a serializer is basically to explain it simply, let's say we are returning a response of the user profile, right? So we won't be getting, every time we need to return a user profile, we have the user model with us, but we need to convert it into JSON in order to return it to the client, right? As a response. So to do that, we don't need to do it manually. We can use a serializer to serialize and deserialize the data. So you can serialize from one data type to another, and you can do the reverse, which is known as deserialization. And let's say you serialize the data from model to JSON, and then you can then return the JSON back to the user. So that's what serializer does. So in order to handle those serializations, then we will have to create new file. Let's say serializer.py. So there's a separate topic for serializers actually. So it's quite interesting. So we'll just import the serializers here. So this is also going to be a class which is user serializer, and it's going to import serializers.model model serializer, and this has to contain a meta method. It's meta class. So we need to say which all fields we need to serialize. Let's say for now all, and the model which we are going to serialize, which is a user, we need to import that model. So from app.models import user. So that's the next is the fields which we want to serialize. Like when you are giving the model, what all fields do you want to serialize? So we want to serialize the email field, which is serializers dot, it's an email field, and we need to serialize the dot char field, last name also serializers dot char field, and we have the username, which is serializers dot char field as well, and we have the password, which is a char field. So serializer does this, and it also validates data. It also can be used to create a model inside DB instead of doing it like manually every time. So for that we can do create. It has a create method. We can override it by saying create and sending the validated data. We can just say return user dot objects dot create validated data. We'll add this. So what this does is when we do create method, or when we do the save method in serializer, it creates us an instance. That's what this does. So we can use it now. So we have this create user. I mean, we can just first import this from app.serializers, import user serializer, right? And from app.models, import user model. So for all we need to do is we need to define a query set, which is user.objects.all, and we need to define a serializer class. In our case, it's user serializer. So that's all we need to do. So one more thing we need to do is we need to add a URL for that, right? So we are going to add slash user. We are going to add the user from app.views.user. We can import create user. So if we do slash user slash create, let's say slash create, then it should create user for us. So let's okay. I think we need to say app slash views slash init.py to declare it as a module, and now we need to run the server. App.serializer, I guess, right? Yeah. We need to remove the slash. So let's try this. So to create a new user, we don't need any authentication. We don't need to know who the user is and all, because we are just creating a user. This is a post request, and we have a raw JSON input. So we are going to have email, let's say john@mail.com, and we're going to have a username, which is username, or let's say John Doe, and we have a password, which is John1. We have a first name, let's say John. We have a last name, which is Doe. Let's say we have some bio here. Actually, we didn't add bio, but we'll add that. This is a bio. This is John's bio. Right, so we just have to add that in the serializer. We did not add bio here. It's a char field. So let's try sending this. So we need to send that to /user/create. We have a runtime error. It doesn't have a append slash. Let's try this, and you can see we are getting this user back, and with the ID 1, which means it has created, and we can actually check this by going into the shell, manage.py shell, and let's import from app.models import user, and let's just call this objects.all, and you can see we have this user, and if you print that dict, and this is what we just created, right? So this is working. We have one API now, which is a create user. So I want to, now we have registered user. Now I want to log in. So to do that, we need to create another view. So let's say login view. So user login view or login user view. So this time you're going to import something called API view. So because login, we have our own logic and all, so we can't just define this and automatically want it to happen. So we want to do something like create a token and all. So for that case, we need to inherit API view, because it provides us some flexibility. So for login, it's going to be a post request. So I'm just going to say request, right? So for this, what we can do is, so the data will be coming from request.data, and what we can do is we can serialize the data itself, but I'm just thinking if it is required, because so basically how this is going to go is, the user is going to send the email and the password. We are going to verify it, and then we are going to return the token for that. We're going to create a token for the user, and we're going to return that token, right? So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take the email from request.data, its email, and password also from request.data. We can do some types of validation. We can do that inside the serializer itself. You know what, we can create a new serializer, user login serializer. It's just a serializer. So for this, I'm going to have the email and the password. So these are the two fields. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to initialize a variable serializer, and that is going to be user login serializer of request.data. Now it is all validated, and we can just say if serializer.is valid to see if the request or the data is valid, and if it is valid, we'll be getting the data inside serializer.validated data, right? So now what I want to do is, I want to take the email. I want to get the user from this email. So let's say user is equals to user.objects.get email is serializer.validated data of email. So if there is a user, Then what I want to do is I want to create a token for this user. Creating a token, we can refer the documentation itself. So we have authentication. So in this we have token authentication. Actually, we need to add this to the install labs first. And then we need to import the token. We need to import the token here. So there is a condition also, if if the user is not found, then what happens? So is there a get if object exists. We can check this. Okay, so we can do that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do try and accept. I'm going to say object does not exist, and if it does not exist, we're going to return response here. So in this I'm going to return success as false, and the message is going to be user does not exist. If the user exists, although, then what I want to do is I want to create a token. So we can create the token by saying this token is token.objects.create, and the user is the user. And if it all goes well, then I will return the token by saying success is true, and the token is this. But before that, there's one important thing to do. We got the user. We need to check if the passwords are valid. So when we're doing .get, we get the unhashed password, but yeah, that we can compare it directly. So if user.password is same as serializer.validated data of password, only then create a token and return it. Else we are not going to return the token, but we are going to say incorrect password. We can test this, but we need to add it to the URL. So path user/login. You can say, what's the name we gave? It's login user view dot as view. So let's actually run the migrations thing, because we have made some changes to settings as well, I guess. I don't think we need a migration. Yeah, there is a migration. We can run the server. We have this user. I'll open another window here. We have this user. I'm going to say login. This is going to be post request, and the body is going to be in JSON again, and the email is John. You can just copy the email and the password. We actually shouldn't return the password. Yeah, we could do that. So we can try this. Okay, we don't have a slash. Okay, we in this serializer we have to send request.data for data is equals to, and I save that. Okay, token is not serializable. I think it's token.key, right? That's what at least I've seen. Yeah, token.key is what they are saying. I can just test this one. So this, okay, this is creating every time. For the user, token is only created once for one user. So we can say get or create. So if it exists, it just gets it, or else it creates a token. Okay, now it has no attribute key. So I think we can just return the string format of the key of the token actually. Okay, it's actually token of 0 because I can see a tuple there. Oh, or it's t of 0 dot key, right? That makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, this is a token we can use for any further requests to log in. I mean, go as John. This is a token, and yeah. So we have created a user and we are logging in of the user. I think we need to do some things like get user by ID, right? So we can just say get user. We can use the generic views here to speed up the process. We have, what are the views we have? Yeah, so we have retrieve. Yeah, retrieve API view. It represents a single model instance. We want a single user, right? So we can just say retrieve user, and it inherits retrieve API view, and it's the same thing. There's only one change. I'll just let you know that. So in the path we need, if you're saying user slash, then we need to specify a pk here, which is a primary key, to denote the ID of the user. So we will just do what's the retrieve user view, retrieve user dot as view. We could do that, and if I try to, so yeah, we can get the user. That no need of any login for this. So if I try this user slash 1, I should get the user with this, right? So if I try some other number, we are getting not found. Yeah, that is what we need. So we have update view, which updates the user. So we'll also implement this quickly. These are just the crude operations here, right? So we can just say class update user, and so this is going to be the same query set, but there's going to be different. We get a pk here. So the reason I'm doing put is that we want to update the user, right? I think we can do that directly. So he is updating his profile and not any other's profile. So we need to check that. For that, first thing we need is authentication classes, which is going to be a list, and the first one is token authentication. So we can import that from Rest Framework dot authentication import token authentication, right? And permission classes is going to be is authenticator. from permissions. So we are going to override a method, let's say put. So the thing we need, we are going to get a pk here, which is the id of the user. I think we can just do this. Let's actually try this, because we don't need a update thing, so we can just say user slash update, and then we get the update user as view. So the thing I was thinking is that if we need an id of the we need to get the user who is logged in, and we need to get the id of the user from the path, from the url, and then check if this user, I mean we are updating this user. But I think you don't need this. You can just see with the logged in user. We can do put. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the bio as this is an updated bio, right? So this is slash update. So authentication details are not provided. So from the logged in token, what we can do is we can go to headers and create an authorization header here, and we can just say token space the token which we have provided. We have an error. Okay, we need the id of the post, so the user. So let's say int pk here. So it was saying, it was asking for this, it wanted pk, right? So okay, let's test this actually. So one is the user which you want to update. Let's put the trailing slash as well. So for update, it's thinking like this is the required, these are all the required fields, right? So for updating a user, you don't need id, right? You just need the current user, which is request.user, and whatever we are updating, we can create this into an API view, and we can remove the pk. So serializer would be self.serializer class data is equals to request.data. Let's try printing the data. Okay, we'll call the initial data. So we have an updated bio, right? So we want to update our serializer class. I think we have something here. Okay, we can send the instance and the data which you want to update, and send partial as true. So we can say which is the user, which is user is, or we can just say request dot user, and then the data, and partial is true. Is it update? No. And then I think that should do. Yeah, this will dot save will update the existing custom, right? So I will say if serializer dot is valid, then I will just say serializer dot save, and I will return a response. Message is user updated, and else success is false, and the message is error updating user. We'll log the error by saying serializer dot errors. Let's try this. Yeah, it says user updated. We have sent and we have updated the bio. So let's get the user. So we have user slash you can see that we have the updated bio here, right? Yeah, so yeah, that works. So in a similar way, what we're going to do is we're going to write delete user as well. So the API view, and we are going to have the same variables, and here we are actually going to put this as destroy user, because DRF has a generic class called destroy API view, I guess. Yeah, so this has a built-in method, I mean the already method present called destroy. So I want to destroy a user, which means I want to delete an user from DB. So I can either delete it, or I can either mark it as not active. So in this case I'll just delete it, because if we have is active and then we have to add more conditions to the query when you're getting, like it should not be also is active. So I don't want to make it that complicated. I just keep it simple. And so the conditions which I want to check before deleting the user is I think we can just delete this, right? Let's try doing that. So user slash delete, and then delete or destroy. So we can, is there a delete method? I can just say delete the current user. I'll just say delete. Okay. Okay, I'll just use this and do delete. Okay, so destroy needs to have pk. We can have a pk here, and we can check if pk is equals to request dot user dot id, and if it is equal, we'll just say self dot destroy. Yeah, I think it's perform destroy. Request dot user. Let's try this. Yeah, we need to add the pk here, right? and I'm going to delete one. Okay, we are not returning a response, so we can just do that. We can just say true message as user deleted, and else we can return this saying success as false and not enough permissions. So we also have to check if the user even exists. So let's say the user I get the user by pk. So I'm going to do try catch for this, the same as this thing. We can try invalid token because the user does not exist. You can see the user does not exist, and we have to register it again. So the ID is 2, and then now we log in, we get the token, and we delete it by updating the token. Okay, we have to do 2 here. The user is deleted, and we try to log in, it should not be valid, user does not exist. So we create again, the ID is 3. So if we do this again, it should not create because the user already exists, right? So it throws us an error. So if we do login now, it should give us a token. I'm going to set this token because we need this for future values. And just update the variable token and save it. Okay, so I think that's that for user, but we need more features like follow user and all, but we'll come back to that after creating the post. So this is done, right? So we can go to post table. So post table has an ID and it has a title, it has a description, and created at, updated at, and the user who has created the table. APIs for this, APIs for post model is create crude on post, and then like a post, right? Comment on a post. So we are not going to add replies to comments, we're just going to keep it simple. So let's first do the model thing. So let's get the model out. We have the user and now we have the post. This is going to be models.model, the usual thing. So ID is provided by Django itself. We have the title, which is char field. So the max length is going to be let's say 32, and the description is models.char field. Max length is going to be 164, and created at models.datetime field, and auto now add is true. So models.datetime field auto now is true. So the difference between auto now add and auto now is auto now add is only changed once, like when we create the model, and auto now is true. I mean, if it is present, then every time we save, this is updated. So what we are updating is the datetime field, so the date and time is updated for this column. So we have the user. So the user is a foreign key, right? So we can say models.foreign key, and the model which we are referencing is user, and we're going to set null is false because this can't be null. A post has to be created by user, and on delete we're going to say models dot set null. So when the user is deleted, this is going to be set null. We don't want to delete the post when the user is deleted. So yeah, so this is what we want. Let's migrate. Make migrations. Okay. Let's set it as false. I don't know why it's throwing the error. So yeah, sorry, null is true. So we have applied the migrations. So we can now proceed with the serializers. So I'm creating a post serializer, which is a model serializer. So for model serializers, class meta is important. So we'll just paste that. And this is post. So again, it's same. So we're going to actually take this and paste it here. Created at don't need, and we need the, instead of models, we're going to say serializers. We'll come to that. So we can delete everything inside this. So for user, we can say serializers dot hidden field. So the reason this is a hidden field is that when you are creating a post, you don't need to specify which user is creating this, because you're going to take that from we're going to take that from request.user. So in order to do that, we create a hidden field. So it is must to provide a default value for this. So we can say current user default. So what this does is it takes the request variable and then puts the user here, right? So that's what it does. In order to do this, we need to send the context to the serializer, which we'll be seeing in a minute. But yeah, this is all we need for the post serializer. And for view, we can open the post view. I think it's in views. We don't have a post view yet, so app slash views slash post.py. Right, so I'm going to import this. So first we want to do the CRUD of post. So class create post is create API view, and so we need the query set, which is post dot objects dot all. The serializer class is post serializer, so this should create a post. And for URLs, we need to add this from app.views.post import create post. So path post slash create and with slash create post dot as view. Yeah, so we can try this. Right, so we can try to create a post. So to create a post also we have to check if it is authenticated or not. So we need to add more classes here. So let's say authentication classes is token authentication, permission classes is authenticated. You can just get that from user on this too. Yeah, so let's try this. Let's say post /create, and this will be post, and the body is JSON, and okay, the title is post title 1, description is post description 1. What else do we have? We have, yeah, I think those are the two things we can, but we need an header here, so I'm going to add authorization header. Token is going to be the token variable. So let's try sending this. So we have this new post here, so we don't have the user here. Let's, because it's a hidden field, we can go inside the shell and we can see who the user is. So from app.models I import post, so I'll just say post.objects.all and take the first one and give me the user. You can see the user is whatever the token which we logged in, john@mail.com. so yeah, that is working. And so we need to implement the same thing to other URLs, I mean other APIs as well. So we have created, we need to get by ID, get post, which means retrieve post. So I guess we can take that from, yeah, I mean it's basically this. And for URLs we can just say post/pk, and we can say retrieve post. So this is /1, and that is a GET request. So for this we don't need to be authenticated, so even if we remove the headers, this should work, because to view a post you don't need to be logged in, right? So yeah, this is done, and we need to add two more, I guess. One is update post, again similar to user. So we have used API view. I think we can do the same. We need to even check if the post is created by this current user. We can just say API view. Yeah, so for this we'll be getting the ID of the post as pk. Yeah, we need to add these things, same, and we need to add a method which is a put method. Request and pk. So with the pk we need to get the user, or we need to get the current user and the pk is user. So we need to compare the post. So this is pk is a post key, so I mean post id. We'll get the post by saying post dot objects dot get id is pk. So again, if this post does not exist, okay, I think we can use a serializer class. So serializer is equals to post serializer of the post, which we have done like similar to this. The post, actually let's do this like this. Post serializer dot of post is equals to post, or just post, and data is request dot data, partial is true. So we need to find a way to, because the model serializer, we have this update function here, right? So we have this instance and validated data. To do that, we can, what can we do? Is there any conditional things in this? Okay, it will be invalidated data. Okay, so if instance dot user dot id is equals to validated data of user, then we can do self dot perform. How do we update this? I think this should do that. So this will save and return. So else it will not update. And when we are saving, if the serializer is valid, let's say, we can do serializer dot save and giving the user as request dot user dot id, and then we can return a response saying success is true. Let's import this, and the message is updated post. Else we need to return success as false and error updating post, and we just print serializer dot errors. Right, so to update a post, again we can do slash update slash the post id. So we can try this, save and try. So let's create a new, let's duplicate this. We're going to have slash post slash update slash one slash, is going to be a put request. We're going to update the post title. This is an updated title, right? And the headers, I think we need a header. So that's that. Okay, I think we have to put the update post here. I forgot to do that. So if we do put here, okay, post.user must be a user instance. So We have a title and user. Okay, we have updated the post. If we get the post now, so the title is updated. That was a bit tricky, but yeah. We have to do the delete one. So let's do destroy post. So this is same, but instead of put, we have destroy. So we do the same thing. We get the object, we get the post, and then we create a serializer. We actually don't need this, but what does this? Does the serializer provide delete for us or destroy? No. So we get the post. So we just see post.id is equals to request.user.id. If it's the same, then we can do destroy. On the post, and after doing that we can just do post deleted, else error deleting, you can say not enough permissions, and actually put this into try and catch or accept. And if the object does not exist, then we say success is false and post does not exist. So now we try to delete this. Okay, let's try to delete. We have to add a URL now. So let's add delete, which is destroy post, and let's delete one. pk is not defined, so pk is quarks.get of pk. Okay, so okay, I think we have compared the wrong thing. It's the post.user.id. The post is deleted, and if we try to get the post, it should say not found. It works. So let's create a new post. Where's the body of the post? Yeah, so let's post this. So yeah, so this is a new post now, and yeah, the crude functionalities of the post are done. So we also need another API actually, which is list every post of user. So which means all the posts are created by the logged in user. So let's say retrieve user posts. So this will be is there any retrieve? We can, I think there's a list. Okay, I think this should be logged in. Okay, they don't need to be logged in, but there is the list method, and what we can do is we can find all the posts or the user posts by saying post.objects.filter user is equals to request.user.id, I guess. we can return response success is true, and posts is user post. So there's a tricky thing to serialize the array of posts. Okay. Posts, just posts that will list user. What's the name we gave? Retrieve user posts. So let's try that. So to do that, we can just do post slash, or we can get the logged in users. But yeah, I mean, this is like contraceptive because we have given request.user.id, but we haven't given the authentication class. So this is basically to display the profile, right? So let's print what is there here. So we have an array of posts, list of posts. We have to serialize that. Let's see, serialize list of data. Okay, we can just use that, right? So we can just say serializer is equals to post serializer or self dot serializer class of user posts, and many will be true. We can just say serializer dot data, I guess, or so if serializer is valid, so this will be validated data, else success will be false. We'll just delete this and we'll print serializer dot errors. Okay, we have to send data here. Where is the serializer class? Okay, so it says we have, it says expected list but got query set. So is it okay, should you do something like this for a single one? No. If you remove many, then still So let's try doing just this. I don't know if we can call data. Yeah, we can call. So yeah, we get all the user, I mean all the you know, posts created by the user. And if you register with another user, let's say John Doe 2, this is John 2's bio, 2 will add to everywhere. If I register this, and if I log in with this user, and if I use this token, so I will not get any post. And that is working as expected, right? So we have gone through most of the APIs for post. Now we want to create a we want to design a table. So we'll create a new table for that. Let's say post like table. So this will contain who liked which post. So for that, the post is required and the user who liked this post is required. Only these two. And we can do something like created and all, but we can ignore that for now. So let's quickly create that post like, which is models.model, and we have a post which is models.foreign key, which is post, and on delete models.cascade, and we have user models.foreign key, user on delete models.cascade. The primary key here is the post and the user, which means the user cannot like the post more than once, right? So let's do class meta. We have this unique together field here, which actually says post and user. Right, so we can also set this to null as false, right? And yeah, we can try migrating this. Python manager.py make migrations and then migrate. Okay, so we need to create, we can put this in the post file only. We will have a new class to like post view. So this is an API view, and in this we have a get, and to like a post you have to be logged in, right? So we need these two classes, and we get the post first of all by saying post dot objects dot get id is equals to pk, and we'll put that in try catch. We'll just copy that here, right? So we have the post and we have the user, which is request dot user, and we need to say so let's put the serializer class as this post serializer. So we need to say that this user is liking the post, and you need to create a new row in which the user is user and the post is this current post. So for that, can we do or can we just do post like dot objects dot create so we can just create user is equals to request dot user, post is equals to post, right? So we create if doesn't access Django model. You can say get or create. What does get or create do? Actually, let's go to the shell and post dot objects dot get or create. So let's say title is new tag. I think I can't do that here. So post dot objects dot get or create id is 1. So 2 already exists, right? So if it's 3, then true. Okay, we receive a tuple. Let's say new post like. So if new post like of 1, which is true or false. If it is false, it already exists. If not, then we will remove. Or we can just say new post like dot delete, I guess. So if we get just this, can we call delete? Yeah, we can call delete. We'll delete it, and by deleting we're saying that we have unliked the post. So this is just post unliked, else post liked. So I'll just test this once and I'll explain. We have to actually create new post. We have this id, so we have to already create an URL for this. So post slash like slash this, and we'll just call post like. I don't know if this works. So we have created this, and we need, let's just duplicate this, and we need get, and we're going to like the first post. Okay, I think what did we, okay, we have imported the wrong one, so it should be post like dot okay. The post does not exist. I think we have 4 post liked. Okay, we have to, when deleting it, it's new post of 0 dot delete, unliked, liked, unliked, and liked. We can now check the from the shell from app.models import post like dot objects dot all. The post ID is 4 and user ID is 3, and the ID of this is 3. So I mean, this is okay for small scale, I guess, because for our project this works. So we have liked a post, we have like or unliked or disliked anything, we have done that. And so we can also view all the users in the post likes. We can do that afterwards, but first we need to finish this another big piece, which is comments on a post. So the comment table is going to look like this. So it's going to have an ID, and there's a comment text, which is actually a comment written by some user, and we're going to have a user field, which is a foreign key to an user, and it represents who has written this comment. And there will be a created at field and an updated at field to see who has created when and updated the comment when, right? So I think we can create that here itself. So class, actually we have to create the model first. So I'll come a bit down and I'll say post comment, that's models.model, and there will be ID automatically provided by Django. So there's a comment text, which is models.char field. So we can put this max length at 264, bit higher. And so the user is actually, let's put the created at and updated at here. And now the user field, who is the user model, the foreign key to the user model, null is false because only logged in users can comment on a post. And on delete models dot cascade. So yeah, we can migrate this now. So manage.py, make migrations, and now we can just migrate. So upload the migrations, and right. So we can now create a comment post. So this is actually going to be a create API view, I guess. So this is going to have the same classes like this, and in this we are going to override the post method. We have the pk, which is the primary key of the post which we are going to comment on. Or should we take that from the body? Let's take it from as a primary key, the parameter only. Right. So we have the pk, we'll get the post, so we can just do this. We have the post by using pk. So if the post exists, then we have the user also with us. So we are going to, this is going to be, we actually need to create the serializer. Okay, so I'll just say comment serializer. Let's create that real quick. and with this we need the meta class. And we need just, I guess, two fields. We need the common text and we need the user. So this is going to be related primary key. Yeah, I think this is the same as this user in post. And the post, I think we haven't put post here, right? Yeah, I think we can just use this. So we have the post as well. Serializers dot primary key related field is true. I think we need to migrate this again because we have made some changes. Okay, we need to, so we have added, can we do flush all the data? Okay, because the null is false here, we need to specify some post value here. So I will say 4 and I'll just migrate. So now we have the post with us and we have the model and we have the serializer. So we can serialize that by saying comment serializer and serializer is equals to self.serializer class, and we want to create a comment. So the data is going to be request.data, and so I think we need something more than this. So we need to see which post the comment belongs to. So we can, I think we can, so usually what we'll do is we'll just do post comment dot objects dot create post is post and user is request dot user, right? So this is what you do, and we also do comment text is equals to request dot data of comment text. This is what we usually do, but we want to do this in a better way. So what we can do maybe is, so the thing is we need to add, so we can do one thing, we can just say request dot data of post equals to post, and then we can send the data as request dot data as usual, and if serializer dot is valid, then we get the validated data. We'll just say commented, else error adding a comment. So this is true. I think this should be good to go, and we need to add the URL as well. So we'll come here. This is post/comment/pk, and it is, what have we named it? Comment post. So let's try this. We have the header. We'll do a post request to comment on 4th post saying this is a first comment. Okay, we need the trading slash. So the serializer field says it needs a context, so we need to create the context actually. So we can just say by doing request is request and sending the context in the serializer class. So this was quite tricky for me to find, but I hope this works. So there's an error adding a comment. Okay, so what is the errors? What are the errors? So comment text is required. So okay, this is comment underscore text, and we have added the comment. We can add it multiple times. We can add, I have added it 3 times, so we can check in the shell now. So I am actually exiting and again opening the shell because we have created new models, and for that to take place we can just restart the shell. So I'll say app.models import post comment dot objects dot all. Okay, I think I forgot to do serializer.save. Not null constraint failed in post id, which means the post is not being sent with data. So here we can override the save method here, and we can just say self.post is equals to quarks of post. Let's try this. Let's print quarks. There's nothing there. I think keyword arguments come from when we are saving. We just need to specify. We need to specify the post, right? We don't need to do this maybe. Okay, comment is added now, and if we check it again, it should be added. And we have the comment text, we have the user ID and the post ID. Yeah, that works. And to get all the comments of a post, we need another, we can just do get here, right? So this returns all the comments in a post. So the pk is the ID of the post. So let's actually copy this thing. We need that for try catch. We get the post, and then we don't get the post. We get all the posts which has the post as pk. Let's do one thing. We get the post, and then comments is post comment dot objects dot filter post is equals to post and then we need a serializer. We'll use a serializer to do the same thing. We can just do data. I think we have done a similar thing here where we'll get returning multiple items. I guess the user post, yeah. So we have done the same thing. We just said many is equals to true. So we'll just do that. We'll just do request dot. We'll just do post. Oh, sorry, this is, yeah. So we'll remove context. We'll put comments here, and many will be set to true. So if it is working, then we can just send serializer.data error fetching post comments. And I think this is a post comment serializer. Okay, we need to add the URL as well. So post slash comments slash, this gives us, this is a get, right, slash comments. So we can just do get. Okay, there's no data keyword, but if we add data here, we weren't getting that, right? Let's print comments also. Yeah, we have, okay, we are getting query set, but we need a list of items. That's the same thing which we faced previously. So what do we do for post? Did we do anything different? I don't think so. So self.serializer class of comments. This is what we are doing. So we don't want to check is valid. We can just do, yeah. Right, this should work. Yeah, so we have all the comments for the post. So if you do 1, the post does not exist. 3, there are no comments. And 4, we show all the comments. Yeah, that works. So we have, let me open the tables. Yeah, so we have done the APIs for post as well, like liking on a post and commenting on a post. So there's one API remaining, which is get the likes on a post. So this should be post actually, and we need a get. So get is get the all the people who have liked, the list of likes of the post, right? So let's do one thing. Let's pick this up, and in get we can just paste this, because we can remove the context. First we'll get the post using the PK, and then we'll get the likes list from post like comment, where the post will be post, and then serializer also will use likes list, and likes list we will send it. And yeah, so if this we should get from like slash 4. So this is okay. We need a serializer for post like as well. So for post like, we have I don't think we have anything. We have user and post, right? And we have the meta. Model is post like. And here we will replace, instead of self.serializer class, we'll just say post like serializer. Let's see. So the likes ID is this, I guess. I think it's the user ID, right? Or is it likes? So let's like a post. Post slash like slash 4. Is it post slash like slash 4? It's like. Okay, we have liked. I want to do that from another user. Let's create another user. 3 3 3 3 3. So we can log in now on 3. So let's use that to like. We have liked, and if we get this, so the ID 4 and 5, the post is 4, right? So the ID is 4 and 5. I think that's not the user ID. Post like. So let's import that. Post like dot objects dot all. Is the user ID. So we need the user ID. Okay. This is not a hidden field then. Yeah, so we have the user. So user 3 and 5 have liked this post. So I think, yeah, so we have the list of posts. So we have most features done. So we have created the user. Let me open this. We have this follows remaining. We have done a post like, and we have done post comment. We know which user liked which post. We know which user commented on which post. So we have to do user follow, right? So we have the follow table. So one is the user ID. So I mean, the first one is the ID, is created by Django. The second one is the user ID, and the third one is follows ID. So the user follows the follows ID user. So yeah, so there should be the APIs for follow table, follow and user. So it's follow or unfollow and user. Get list of followers. Right. So let us do that quickly here. So we have a follows post. Okay, it's user follow. It's models.model. So we actually need user, and we need follows ID, which is also user. And yeah, I think we can migrate. Okay, let's add a related name, src follow, related name, destination follow. It's basically some related name we need. So the related name, I think this is for how the other models see this. So the user model sees this field as src follow. So yeah, that's what related name is for. So we have migrated, and we need to create the APIs. We need to create the serializer first, I guess. So we have user follows. Is it follow or follows? Follow serializer. So this has the same user and follow. Okay. So yeah, we can start creating the APIs for this. So this is user follow user. So this is going to be API view. So to follow you need to you need to be logged in. So this is user follow. This is user follow serializer, and we have the first post, self and request. So this is like this is the following, right? So you follow or unfollow. So we do that as post, and we get follower. So follow is typically saying, we are saying that follow this user. So follow stores the ID of the user we are going to follow. So basically we need to get the user, following user, which is user.objects.get ID is follow, and we need to try or accept this. So this user does not exist. So what we need is we need to push the following, or we need to create a serializer first. Serializer is equals to self dot serializer class of. We can do one thing. We can just say user follow dot objects dot create. User is request dot user follow. What's the name we give? Follows ID. I think this should be follows more than follows ID. Is equals to following user, and also this should be get or create. So if not follow user of 1, which means it already exists, then we'll just say follow user of 0 dot delete, else we'll say we have followed the user. It's typical to liking, I guess. we return the response here. Followed user, unfollowed user. So let us try this. So it's same as the URL. We'll just put the, it's follow slash, would this be, let's put it as pk. Yeah, so we can test this now. So what we're going to do is we are going to duplicate this. So we're going to follow the user with user ID 5. Which user are we? Okay, I think we can follow 5 with this user. And this should be so for API view, previously we have done the like, right? So this one, yeah, we can do the same here. User slash follow. User isn't defined. We need to migrate that, right? So we have followed the user. So I'm not sure what's exactly happening, so we can check that here from app.models import user follow. So user follow dot objects dot all. I think if we have done the reverse. Yeah, this is unfollowed because we're deleting, right? So we have the user follow and we have the user ID follows himself, but okay. So if we do 4, we have followed the user again, and this time user 5 is following 4. So we also want to get request pk. So what this does is this returns the list of users who the current user is following, right? So we can do that by saying who the current user is following. So we can do following is equals to user follow dot objects dot filter user is equals to request dot user. Who the user is following. Followers will be the reverse dot objects dot filter follows is equals to request dot user, and we can serialize this. So what we're doing is we are filtering out. I'll just test this and let you know and explain what else is there. I think we don't need a PK here. Let's do get to see if it works. No. Let's take PK. We need a meta class. We can do this. User follow has no attribute post. I think it's related to this. Actually follow users. Follow user. I think got attribute error when attempting to get a value for field post. Okay. User follow serializer. Okay. Okay, this is not post like, this is user follow. Okay, we are following two people, myself and 4, and myself follows myself. So we have this data. So we can, yeah, so I think that's most of the job we are trying to do. So we have this user follow class now, so by using which we can know who is following who, and we can also get the count as well. So in scale, if you're like, let's say you have deployed this application and it's got some, let's say 50,000 60,000 users, then you can't count the number of follows each time, because that's quite expensive. Then you can do something like caching to cache the number of count of followers and following for every user. That would be a bit sensible, and you can do a few handful of things like that. Caching would solve a lot of problems for items at a small scale as well as big scale as well, but very useful for small scale. Yeah, so I think that's what I wanted to do today. We have the following model, we have the comment model, and we have the like model. So I mean, I was actually thinking of doing the media thing as well, but then the video would get too long, so I didn't want that to happen. So media thing is the same, like you can just upload the media to S3 or something, and then you can put the link in the DB. So that should do the job, and you can just get the link when you are from the front end, when you are just displaying it to the user. So yeah, thanks for watching, and do subscribe and share this video, and if you have any doubts, do comment. Yeah, thanks for watching.